We are back on that top story this Monday from Chapel Hill. We want to really dive deeper into the building that authorities are urging folks to stay away from at this hour. Again, although they gave the all clear earlier this afternoon, they are urging folks to stay away from Caudill Labs.
And you can see it's kind of in the heart center of UNC Chapel Hill's campus. And this was a building that was built in 2007, by the way, and it's a building for chemistry. So a lot of science majors and whatnot would be studying there, which was happening today when we got the alert around 1 o'clock of everything going on. It was named in honor of W. Lowry and Susan S. Caudill. They both graduated from Carolina and they had degrees in chemistry as well.
I want to take some time and recap what we do know at this hour. Again, a lot of frustration from the students that we heard from this Monday was the lack of information that they got from the university. We know that that alert came out at 1 o'clock this afternoon. The all clear was the next big alert from the university at 4 o'clock. In between those two alerts, we know that students were told to remain in shelter, but that was the only other communication they got from the university. We know, according to our sources at WRAL-TV, they're reporting that one faculty member on the campus of UNC died today in that shooting. We still have yet to hear that from any type of authority on the ground, but I do believe we are expecting to hear a press conference coming up sometime this afternoon.
And that's actually where our Kara Peters is headed with our photojournalist right now. So they're going to be getting the latest information. I believe this is a look at where that press conference is going to be taking place. And they will hopefully get a lot of these questions that we still have answered for us in terms of also whether anyone else was injured during this incident this afternoon. Obviously, it was 3 hours of pure chaos. We saw so many law enforcement officers on the scene. We saw students coming out of buildings with their hands up, tears coming down their face, and it's certainly been a very tough day for the Carolina Tar Heels.
Do we have some of that video queued up from earlier today? This is what folks were greeted with on the campus. You can see some of those students in the distance there being evacuated from those buildings with their hands in the air, and that's a sight, like Lindsay just mentioned, you just don't want to have to deal with or even process within just 1 week of this brand new academic year for that campus. And then to put this into a real perspective, imagine the freshman students.
Oh my gosh,
you know,
I know.
they just finished moving 2 weeks ago. They're anxious to get to their classes and they're met with an alert that tells them to shelter in place. We have an armed or dangerous person on or near campus.
And a lot of vocabulary that we are hearing from these students are words like surreal and unbelievable. None of them thinking this will happen on their campus, whether they're freshmen or they're seniors, all of them sharing a very similar sentiment today. And a lot of them also just upset, saying they were not too happy with the alert system and just how they were given information. A lot of them were kind of left in the dark, especially those that were barricaded or sheltering in place in some of these buildings, had to wait several hours and just kind of follow UNC social media for any updates and alerts because they weren't getting any information and didn't know what was going on outside of the buildings they were stuck in.
And we spoke to several students from earlier this afternoon, and in fact, this picture of the person of interest is who police were looking for. Again, nothing official from University Police or Chapel Hill Police about if they have this person of interest in their custody, if they're still looking for this person, but according to our sources at WRAL-TV, a person fitting this description who looks pretty much like this person we're seeing now is in police custody, according to WRAL-TV. And I'm reading also a student, a UNC graduate student and former classmate of the person that we're showing you. He said, quote, every single time he would talk to me, he seemed very nice. When I saw his face in reports online, I was beyond shocked. So a lot of people who knew the suspect in this case were the person of interest. When they saw this mugshot, they immediately start to reflect on their connection to this individual, but it seems to be that they do have their person of interest in custody, according to our news gathering partners at WRAL-TV.
And, the active scenes that we've been showing you have been in the center of campus. So that's where a lot of students are gathered throughout the day. And as you see all these police cars here, this is, where a lot of those buildings are that students take classes in. We've mentioned Caudill Labs is where they're telling and urging students to stay away from right now, which is in the center of campus off South Road. That's across from the bell tower. And that's where, in the area at least, that alert was issued at 1 o'clock. And it took more than 3 hours to issue the all clear alert, which was given not too long ago, within the last hour, I would say, Devontae.
And Lindsay, that all clear alert was something that students and faculty, they were anxious to get, because keep in mind that first alert came in at 1 o'clock this afternoon, reports of an armed or dangerous person, and this was the wording that the campus used, on or near campus. So that alone would probably cause a lot of panic in students who might be nearby. The next alert they got was at 2:24 and 3:14. Both of those alerts told students to stay sheltered in place until given the all clear. So we were still very much in the tense of that situation. And that last alert, 4:14, was when that all clear was given from the university and those students started to leave campus. Although that process started very much early, around 3 o'clock this afternoon, we saw a lot of students leave the buildings with their hands in the air, especially even what we've learned is called the pit area, a place on campus near the heart of campus where a lot of students gather.
And obviously, you can see on some of their faces just sheer panic and terror. And a lot of these students were very emotional coming out of these buildings, understandably so. There was one student athlete our Kara Peters had spoken to saying, you know, he's hoping that this won't really change the Carolina Tar Heels, and he's hoping this won't break their spirit. But I know a lot of students, it's going to take a lot for them to feel safe on campus again, because as they have told us all afternoon, you just don't expect something like this to happen where you learn, and especially just a week into classes. Here we see some images again of those students coming out of buildings with their hands up, being led by some law enforcement officers, and you see them all geared up there as well on the scene. And we have seen some videos on social media that we're trying to get for our viewers of just some of those buildings being cleared as well.
This, of course, still very much in the early stages, although we are now almost 4 hours from that first alert that the university sent. This is video, but the campus and the police response still very much heavy at this hour. I think a big takeaway from today was the feeling of how those students will feel moving forward. Psychologists will certainly be needed in a situation like this. We have a lot of new students, new freshmen, new students who travel from afar to the campus of UNC Chapel Hill, leaving their parents behind, their families behind. And so to make sure those students are okay, and if they can finish this academic year with the support they can get, that will certainly be most needed.
Yeah, certainly a desirable school for people all across the nation. Yeah, not just here in the Carolinas, although we have a lot of people in the Triad that probably were students at UNC Chapel Hill at some point and have kids there right now. And this didn't just impact UNC Chapel Hill. By the way, a lot of elementary, middle, high schools in the area were also on lockdown in response to this incident this afternoon. And they're probably only a few days or maybe even the first day of school for some of those schools as well. So
we will continue to follow this, and of course these pictures are streaming live on our Facebook page. Just search WXII 12 News. We'll also have those images from the pit area. This is a picture from that scene earlier today when those students were leaving that area. We know that's a big place where students gather on that campus. Kara Peters joined us from that scene earlier today, and we just saw the students leaving that area behind her. She was speaking to several who were just still shaken up and can't believe that this is still in our backyards now. You know, Chapel Hill right down the highway, so it's tough.
Certainly.
It's tough.
A lot of grads in our area. NC State University issuing a statement saying, "Our thoughts are with UNC Chapel Hill in this difficult time. Counselors are available, and for anyone in the Wolfpack community who would like to speak with someone." These schools are rivals, but obviously today they're standing together.
And it is something we will certainly see as this tragedy continues to unfold.
And we also have been hearing from some officials in the state. We had a statement from Governor Roy Cooper earlier today. He had said his office is in communication with officials at UNC Chapel Hill, and they're taking precautions to protect campus following today's shooting.
More reaction from students. Let's listen in.
And they opened the door, told us we could go out, go to South Road. There was several of them in there, holding rifles and weapons and things. And then here we are out here. So.
What is it like to see you walk outside here and you see police everywhere and their long guns? I mean, what is this like to see happening here on your campus?
Honestly, it makes me feel a little bit sick because this is a situation that we really shouldn't even have to be worrying about. You know, we're in class and lecture, and we have to be concerned about gunmen coming into our classrooms and, you know, hurting people when we're just here to learn, like anybody should be able to. So I'm very angry about this, and something needs to be done. Someone needs to take some sort of action to protect students everywhere.
And those were the students, some of the students that we heard from earlier today, but of course a lot of emotion, a lot of heartache from those students there on the campus of UNC Chapel Hill.
Yeah, it's been a really tough day for all of them.
Right now at 5 o'clock, let's reset. If you're just joining us this Monday, we are following that story out of UNC Chapel Hill. This is hour number 4 now, I would say, since students first got that alert around 1 o'clock this afternoon. We know that they received that alert, be it on their phone or mobile devices, that there was an armed or dangerous person on campus, and that was around 1 o'clock this afternoon. Right now, though, you're taking a live look inside the Carolina Inn. That's where authorities are expected to gather and meet today, within minutes actually, to give us an update on the day's event.